Creatures from the world of the undead.
The most bizarre.
Devil worship, Satanism, black magic, or witchcraft. Zodiac killer.
All lights go out and the monsters are released from their coffins.
Now, prepare yourself for the most gruesome and grotesque experience of them all. The Creep-O-Rama.
Well, I like the idea of having a fucking movie playing behind you, even if it's blurred. Like, that's way cooler than, like, reflection coming off of my fucking shitty movie posters.
It's literally like the rest of this space is horrible. Like the mapping of the room is terrible.
Yeah.
So it's like this is like where my studio desk is.
Right.
So I just put like a montage or whatever on the screen. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah. No, it works. Yeah, it looks so.
But I like that you guys have like way more like memorabilia stuff that's cool. Like the Jason masks.
I got a bunch of shit. This is my little desk.
Scream.
Shelving area that I've managed to shoehorn into this tiny ass apartment. Yeah.
All right, where do we start? Because I think these three movies, I fucking loved all three of them. I thought they were all awesome. And so Death by Temptation, I knew nothing about. Like, I was familiar with the other two, but I was beyond pleasantly surprised with that one. I thought, especially for like such a low budget movie, which like that's not like a turnoff for us on this podcast, but it's it was awesome. I thought it was really fucking cool. It was cool to see such a young Samuel L. Jackson, who's not in it enough, but it was still that was a really cool one. But
I was disappointed that he wasn't more involved in that film. But
well, you said you didn't know this movie either. You said, like, how did you land up?
It was literally like I don't know. I think it was just random because I had picked that other movie, Cachet, which I had heard about before, and it's like I don't know, French film or something. I probably have that wrong, but
yeah,
I don't like it. Literally just popped up, and I was like, oh, it's Samuel Jackson. That looks cool.
So my barometer for how popular a movie is, I always look at how many people have logged it on Letterboxd, and this one's 12,000. So it's not terribly low, but it's still pretty low. Like, I think
it's pretty low for Letterboxd, I would say now.
Yeah, for sure.
I had never even heard of it, and when you sent the cover art, I was like, "Fuck, is this a real movie?" Because what's funny is I looked it up and I was like, Samuel L. Jackson. I was like, Kadeem Hardison. I fucking love Kadeem Hardison.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a vampire '90s movie. Like, I should have absolutely seen this by now, but then I looked it up and there was like, it's super low budget. It was like quietly released, not even like fully theatrical or anything, and then just disappeared.
That movie cover looks like I made it in MS-DOS. It looks like
the
like
cover
I was in
art
fifth
is a bit
grade.
lacking.
They hired me in fifth grade to do it. But that movie's kick ass. I don't even know James Bond III, who plays Joel in the movie.
And wrote and produced and directed it.
Yeah, and I think it's his debut as well. And he was a child actor, I read somewhere, but I just don't know what he was in. And so here's where I couldn't find the answer to this. The starring actress, Cynthia Bond, is she related? They have the same last name. I have to imagine they are, but I can't find anything anywhere on the internet.
I believe that was his wife.
It was his wife?
I think it was his wife. Don't quote me on that. I could have that horribly wrong, but I think
that was his wife. That was my first assumption, and I was trying to confirm that, and I just couldn't find anything. There's not a lot on the internet about this movie.
No, there's hardly anything. Much.
Yeah, apparently, like he disappeared after this film. Like he just wasn't. That was his last.
Really?
Film.
Yeah.
This is like his first and last film.
Wow.
Or maybe not his first, but it was definitely his last. And like I was.
Well, I think it was his directorial debut, or maybe I got that wrong. I thought it was.
It was his.
It's the only movie. It's the only movie he directed.
Directed. But yeah, even his Wikipedia page has born in 1966, but they don't know his exact birth date. And then years active.
There's nothing about this guy out there. Yeah.
Years active, 1977 to question mark. So we know less about James Bond the Third than we do about James Bond, the secret agent. Like,
yeah. But there's some interesting, even though there's very minimal information on the internet that I could find about this movie, there's still some things that were interesting. Where I know one of the main houses that this movie is shot in is actually owned by Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, I saw that too. That's awesome.
And it's because he was married to the producer. What's her name? I have a note here somewhere. Hannah something. Oh, come on, Derek, get it together, dude.
Jesus.
I don't know. It's Hannah Moss. So they were married from 85 to 1990, and this is the only production credit she has, and she produced this movie. Yeah, and it was Lawrence Fishburne, and then she starred in one movie that Lawrence Fishburne is in. I don't remember what it was, but I remember seeing it on Letterboxd. But I'm curious to what that just shoot it in my you could just shoot it in my house, I guess. Like, I don't know. I read also there was I think he had just bought it and it was like pre-renovated or some shit. It was just a location to shoot at. But yeah, I mean, I guess the just the cool shit you hear when you put together such a low budget film like that.
Yeah,
just kind of figure it out.
It turns out like the DP on this film was also Spike Lee's go-to guy. Like, he did Malcolm X and Do the Right Thing. The Dunner Man is in this from Do the Right Thing. Dougie, I think that was his name.
Yeah.
The undercover cop guy.
Yeah. What's his name? Something. Is it Bill Nunn?
Yeah, Bill Nunn.
Yeah.
And yeah, the DP, the cinematography was Ernest Dickerson, who would go on to direct Bones, Demon Knight, and Surviving the Game.
Yeah.
So his
cinematography
is so sick in this one.
Yeah, I still haven't seen Bones. I gotta get on that one.
Oh, we gotta add that on. The cover looks like Bones.
It does.
Looking at it,
does look similar. I saw my favorite piece of trivia was that it was made 5 years before Vampire in Brooklyn. This is the first of two 90s black vampire movies that Kadeem Hardison would star in.
Right.
Because Kadeem Hardison was in Vampire in Brooklyn too.
Yeah.
And this wasn't available until 1997 in Sweden, where it went direct to video. And because it was about a black vampire in New York, they promoted it as a sequel to Vampire in Brooklyn when it went direct to video in Sweden. And I was like, this movie's like 5 years older than Vampire in Brooklyn. Like, no, it's Vampire in Brooklyn too, we promise.
Yeah, I mean, it's Sweden pre-internet. Yeah, it's like,
what are they going to do?
This? Yeah.
Well, it makes sense because I believe at the end, if I'm not mistaken, his name was K in the movie.
K,
right?
Yeah.
Like he has that same flash where he was like in Vampire in Brooklyn where he became the ghoul. Mm-hmm. And he was the ghoul at the end of this one. I was like, that is Vampire in Brooklyn. I'm like, what the
fuck? Yeah. But they were great. Kay was, I think, my favorite. He was, he came across as such a like genuine, like real New Yorker to me. Like, just like he felt like a real character. I thought he was awesome.
Yeah, he was great, especially since he just moved to New York to become an actor not that long ago.
Yeah. He just developed the New York accent like a few months into living there. Yeah, that was like me when I lived in New York for like 10 months. Like, yeah, dude, I'm from here now.
Yeah. Well, come on. Long Island.
One thing I thought interesting, Cynthia Bond, before we move on from her, who plays Temptress, she's a successful author who, did you know this? Did you get uncover some of that?
I looked up a little bit of it because I was also trying to find as much as I could online about this movie. And I was like, are we like, what fucking parallel universe am I in where I'm the only one who knows this movie exists? Because there's hardly anything online about it.
Right.
But I found her like Wikipedia page and looked up some of the stuff she found, which is crazy.
Her debut novel, Ruby, which spent 6 consecutive weeks on the New York Times bestseller list and was chosen as a selection for Oprah's book club.
Holy shit.
Like, she's a legit fucking author. And is this the only acting credit she has? This is the only thing she's ever done.
Yeah, she was super creepy in this too.
Yeah, she was awesome.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
I love that James Bond III was 23 making this movie, which is insane.
And he looked like he was like 17.
Yeah,
super young.
When he popped up and it's like, oh, this is Joel. I just gotta get out of here. I'm like, okay, so who's this kid? And I was like, wait, I thought Joel was played by the director. Let me go back and check these credits. And I was like, oh, that is the writer, producer, director of this film is playing a fucking teenager.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, how old was he? And about 23. We don't know his birthday, so it's got to be close, but
somewhere around there.
Yeah. Also crazy that this is a trauma movie. Did you see that in the opening credits?
Yeah, it's trauma.
Yeah.
Which I guess like it kind of adds a bit to the campiness. I get like maybe some of it came from that. But then I think it was because it's a bit of a lost film, and I think it was similar to all three of these movies, because there was, or maybe it was a Spider Labyrinth. The Spider Labyrinth, that's what it was. That one was considered like a lost film for decades until Severin Film did a Blu-ray release not that long ago. But I think similar to this, right? Because Severin Films put this one out on they did a DVD release. I don't know. I mean, maybe explains why we didn't fucking know anything about it. But yeah, I thought I saw somewhere. Did it get bought from Troma or no? I guess it was just a licensing from Severin.
Troma, that was like the Toxic Avenger and a bunch of other like movies.
Oh yeah.
That's where James Gunn got his start. Romeo and Juliet, and they did like Killer Condom and shit like that. So this was
ridiculous movies.
This was one of the more, which is strange that this is a Troma team release, because I'm like, this movie wasn't nearly as tasteless as most Troma releases. Like this is a quality film.
Yeah. I mean, you did get a little bit of like a full cock shot in the beginning of that the first kill.
That's how I was hooked immediately. I was all in.
Yeah. Which was a good first kill, and just like the bloody shower was dope. But then
awesome.
The blood shower scene was sick.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this was a dope movie. I liked it a lot.
Very fun. The final act was bonkers, like the crazy vampire makeup effects and shit. Like that was
the eyes.
That was unreal.
I don't get freaked out often, and not when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's like kind of like I don't want to see that shit. Like it kind of freaked me out. It reminded me of like Men in Black for some reason. I feel like there's like the second and third one. There's like one of the characters had those eyes like that, but in that context, it just felt very. That was like one of the scariest vampires I've ever seen.
Yeah,
just from
that was some dope special effects makeup there. I wanted to find out who did because I always look for that, and in the crew credits on Letterboxd, there's no one listed for special effects or makeup.
Oh, jeez.
So I don't know. Maybe it was James Bond III just figuring shit out as it goes.
Maybe. I was trying to look up the Blu-ray to be like, did they get him for a commentary, or is he still just under wraps? Like,
he's living in like the mountains somewhere, just splitting logs and
completely in hiding.
Yeah. Until he gets called for a sequel.
Maybe he got by the whatever. What is she? A succubus? Or
succubus.
Succubus. Yeah, is what I see on all the plot synopses.
Yeah. Which was a term that I learned from South Park as a kid in middle school.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Anything else on that movie? I know there wasn't much for us to pull from the internet, but I don't know if there's
just like I guess like the themes. Like I felt like they were trying to talk about AIDS, and then there was like that weird poltergeist scene.
Yeah.
At the end, also with the Reagan doll on the top of the TV, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
The Reagan doll gets all animated, and I love the effect of the TV screen too. That was cool.
Yeah.
I think it may have been trying to talk about. Like, I didn't pick this up earlier in the movie, but I guess Kay had like a drinking problem or something like that, because when him and Joel have a talk, it's like, well, you've been drinking, man. I'm not going to listen to you. And then like,
of course I've been drinking.
Right. Yeah. And then he drinks the 40. So like, then I guess that's why because she only got people that were like gave in the sinners and gave in temptation and stuff like that. So I guess that explained. I don't know what the cop did though. What was his like? I don't know what he did that was like why he got like that.
Yeah. Got left on the cutting room floor, maybe. I don't know.
You're right.
Yeah. Because, there was,
You're just kind of rude.
You got the succubus and the bartender.
Well, I think, I don't know if, she was trying to tempt a lot of guys and just didn't work on him, right? I mean, there's,
like Kay resisted, and he already kind of was like aware of her.
Right.
So I wonder what. Yeah, I wonder what his thing was because he becomes the lead succubus at the end. So
right.
It's like, that lost me a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely felt like a film that could have benefited. Like I think if it got remade today, it might be like really, really, really tight. Like better than.
I'd say don't touch it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Yeah, I like it as is. It's funny. I watched this over a 2-day period just because first time I sat down and watched it was pretty late. I didn't finish it, and then the next night I go to play it again, and it starts playing. It's towards the end where the whole bar they're all like fucking zombied out and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, the fuck happened? Like, what the hell? Like, I must have just missed like 20 minutes or something. So like I rewind. I'm like, no, that's exactly where I was. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? It threw me for a loop. But that scene was sick. That was
all her past victims and stuff.
Yeah.
She was gnarly.
That was cool.
And poor Norman. Getting that was the most like heavy-handed, obviously AIDS reference in the whole movie. But I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, a lot of those undertones were there.
Yeah.
I mean, New York
shot me.
Yeah,
she was nuts.
I mean, New York City, late '80s. I'm sure that was filmed in like '89. So those undertones just kind of had to like make its way in there. I'm sure that's
very heavy-handed for sure.
Yeah. So I'll lead us into Dead and Buried because this movie I fucking love this movie. I'm glad that I think it was Josh that suggested this one. So I mean, maybe it's time to explain what this episode was. Just three of us picked the movie. Dre brought Death by Temptation to the table, which was fucking awesome. Dead and Buried, Josh's pick. This was one that was on my list for a while. I remember I always watch on Letterboxd what my brother watches, and even if he doesn't text me like, "Oh, this was dope," like I just see like, "Oh, he gave that 4 stars." Like, all right, I'll throw that on my watch list. I'll watch it later. And I just, for whatever reason, never got to it. So this was a perfect selection by Josh. I was happy to get to it. It's fucking awesome.
It good.
Yeah, I bought this movie 20 years ago. There's a spot in Colorado Springs called Movie Trading Company where I went into so much debt because I would go there and just buy used movies like every weekend, and they had so many good deals. And I saw a limited edition Blue Underground Dead and Buried DVD that was like numbered, like one of 700 or something. And I was like, oh, fuck. And it's only like $11.99. I don't even know what this movie is, but it looks dope. And Stan Winston, I got to buy it. And then I never watched it. And it's been on my shelf for 20 fucking years. And I'm like, I got to watch Dead and Buried one of these days. But I got to watch new movies. I got to watch these other screeners. I got to watch this. And so as soon as we were like, we got to pick a movie that none of us have seen, I'm like, I'm finally going to watch this movie. And I was so pissed as I was watching it. Like, man, this movie's amazing. And I could have been watching it multiple times over the last 20 years, and I didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nuts.
That's why I like this concept of like, we should do more of these episodes because then everyone gets to throw in something that's been on their list for a while. And then, you know what I mean? And then, you end up finding gems like that.
Yeah. With Grandpa Joe from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And
yeah.
I had to watch it twice because I was like, is that the Willy Wonka dude? I couldn't tell at first. And I was like, that's the Willy Wonka dude.
Yeah.
Man. No, he was great, and he was so awesome in this.
Yeah, and a pre-Freddy Krueger Robert Englund.
Yeah,
yeah, which is pretty cool to see.
Yeah, man, it opens up with that photographer. Just the seduction on the beach. I was like, what the fuck is this movie? And then everyone shows up and murders him. I'm like, okay, I'm in. Like, I would love to get this explanation. And I still had no idea where it was going until that like big reveal. I was like, oh, okay, this is weird. Like I love it.
Yeah. No, it was really sick. There was a weird controversy with Dan O'Brien with this movie, right? I don't know if you came across that. So written by Dan O'Brien, who obviously wrote Alien and Total Recall, or what did I say?
O'Brien. It's O'Bannon. Yeah.
O'Bannon. Yeah.
O'Bannon.
Yeah.
But he apparently he hated this movie, right? And he didn't like.
Yeah. He and Robert Shusett wrote Alien together, and then Robert Shusett, they're credited as the writers on this one. Like even the poster says, "From the people who brought you Alien comes a new level of terror" or something.
Yeah.
And later on, after the movie had come out, Dan O'Bannon was doing some interview, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't touch that movie. Robert wrote the whole thing himself, but he needed my name on it for the studio to pick it up." And so I said, "Okay, as long as you make these changes." And then I saw the movie and realized that he hadn't made any of these changes. So I would rather not be associated with it at all. It's not my movie. I don't know if he necessarily hated it, but it wasn't what he had written. Because now I'm watching it and I'm like, but Dan, it's a good fucking movie. Like you should
it's dope.
Be happy for your friend at least. Like this movie's dope. I don't know what I would have changed about it. But it's funny, is one of the reviews I was reading from back in the day was the reason this movie didn't take off is it's too smart for people who are just looking for like a schlocky gore fest, but it's also too like campy and gory for people who are looking for a more elevated horror movie. So like both audiences are kind of divided about it.
Right. It's just the perfect movie for Creep-O-Rama.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, there's some interesting people in the crew in this movie. Again, makeup. I always look at who's doing the makeup in these horror flicks. Sam Winston, who did makeup in Terminator 2 and 3, Interview with the Vampire, Batman Returns, like another just a long list of sick movies. And I thought the makeup in this was sick. There was some cool, there was some cool special effects makeup in there.
Did you see there's 2 eye scenes, which is funny because everyone talks about the guy in the hospital getting stabbed in the eye. Did you see how they did that?
What's that?
No.
So that was not a person in those bandages. They made a life-size animatronic like dude so that he could like react, and they could stab it for real. And then to make sure that she hit him in the center of the eye perfectly every time, they filmed it backwards. So they just stuck the needle in his eye and then had her film in reverse.
That's cool. That's a fucking cool. Yeah. That's awesome.
That was the photographer at the beginning too, right?
Yeah.
And he dies twice. I was like, what the fuck is the same dude?
Yeah, I definitely got a little confused
the first time, so they had to fully kill him so that they could bring him back.
Yeah.
You can't kill me. You can just make me dead.
It was such a cool fucking line.
Yeah.
That's an awesome quote. Yeah.
But then the other eye scene when he's fixing the woman, like they do the crazy time lapse of like rebuilding her. And then they show him like popping her eye back in the socket, and then she sits up and walks away. They did all that with a dummy that was like cast from her, and then they kept it all in one take. So when he goes to like grab a jar or something, his elbow blocks the camera for a split second, and they drop the dummy out and brought a real woman in. So that when he comes back into frame, it's her.
Yeah.
And you can barely tell. Like that's
right.
That's awesome.
That's like you watch this shit cool. And then you watch a movie with a bunch of CGI stuff in it. I'm like, look what they were doing in the fucking 80s.
Yeah,
come on, man.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. Yeah, I mean, I know we've beaten that drum so many times. Yeah. It's worth beating it again because
when the practical effects are this cool, I'm like, look at what they were capable of. That's insane.
Yeah.
And only so many
and
takes.
It really like at the time, I'm sure it's such a like they are unsung heroes, right? It's it's us praising it years later where we just aren't seeing stuff like that anymore, and we fucking like, you know, we're deprived of it. It's like, oh fuck, like look at the shit they were doing. It's so fucking like they had no money, so you had to block that doll out with your elbow to fucking but like you don't notice that when you're watching. It's just such a cool fucking little factoid of how these people were, you know, thinking outside of the box to make these movies.
Yeah. I think it forced them to be fix it creative.
Yeah, it had to. Now it's like, oh, let's just fix it in post. Like, you know, like we'll just. I mean, fuck, like we're really about to see that shit now with AI, right? I mean, it's just like,
it's already started.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
Which is sad because it makes movies so stale. I think that's what I've noticed lately about movies that I've seen that don't utilize practical effects. It's just like, it's very stale. Every movie feels stale because everything's a green screen, and they just like have to go back and like, or they're acting without like the atmosphere behind them and stuff like that. It just kind of changes movies so much.
You know what I like about it though? It's that it makes me hate movies so much today that it's made me dive into much older movies. Like I really do think that fed into my desire to uncover these gems from decades and decades ago. Like because last year I spent the whole year really diving into the 50s. Like 50s was just, for whatever reason, it grabbed me. I just loved the 50s monster movies and fucking all like the weird atomic age shit that was coming out then. It was awesome. I don't know if I would be doing that if like movies today were awesome.
If new movies were as consistently good,
But there's movies I'm excited for right now that are coming out, but I'm still not as excited as like discovering a cool one that's from like, you know, 80 years ago.
Yeah. No, there's somebody shared a clip of like what a green screen moment. I don't know what the movie was from, but it was somebody walking down like an alleyway in some dystopian city, and then they get on like a elevator and it takes them down to the next level of the street, like a street level, and they go down this corridor or something. And it was like, this is how they filmed the whole thing with green screens. And it was literally just the person walking towards the camera and then standing still while they animate the background going behind them. So it looks like they're on an elevator, and then they turn around and walk the other way. So it looks like they're going down this alleyway. And someone just reshared that video and was like, oh, so making movies sucks now. Like, like how fucking boring that must have been on set. You used to go on location. You used to like see crazy shit and make it happen in camera. And now they're just like, yeah, we're going to sit in this green garage and we'll put everything happening around you in later. You just react to these tennis balls.
Imagine like just taking like Jimmy Stewart out of like a fucking Hitchcock set, like this beautiful fucking Hitchcock set, and putting him in that environment. I'm like, all right, dude, just pretend you're on an elevator and like, what the fuck what have you guys done? What is this?
It's like we used to refer to this as magic. Now this is not magic.
It's unfortunate, but Dead and Buried, fucking
winner. Big winner. Awesome. I'm excited to watch it again and kind of just like pick it apart and see all the little details, the like severed arm on the grill and all the weird little quirks. And it's just like a fun, unique plot that I wouldn't have thought of, where it's like, the whole city's in on it because they just found out how to preserve corpses, so now everyone looks better than they did when they were alive, and and they're all into it. Like it's just something we've agreed upon at Potter's Bluff. So if you come visit, we have to murder you and turn you into one of our like life-size mannequins too.
But that was like my question was like everybody was dead in the town, right? Except Dobbs, right?
That's the sheriff?
Not the sheriff, maybe Willy Wonka man. I keep forgetting.
I just had it up too.
Oh yeah,
he's Jack Albertson. Or no, that's the actor, Jack Albertson. Dobbs. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Grandpa Joe.
Yeah.
I thought like that's what I started getting from it, was that he had basically, because they dropped this little thing in there where he like got fired from his institution, whatever that was.
Yeah.
And like he started like experimenting on these people's bodies and stuff like that. But I thought everybody in the town was dead, because even the lady Joan, I keep forgetting her name.
Yeah,
like at the end, it's like she realizes like she's dead after
or Janet
or Janet.
Yeah,
she's like, oh, I'm shot. I'm really dead, or whatever the fuck. I can't remember what.
Yeah, when he starts burying her.
Yeah,
and she's that scene was nuts.
So it almost felt like it was like his art exhibit. Like he was experimenting. The whole town was like his art exhibit.
Right. Yeah. I saw something cool that I didn't pick up watching the movie. I read about it after the fact, where Sheriff Gillis, he, because you see at the end when his fingers are fucking, like decaying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And apparently throughout the movie, he's constantly fucking with his fingers. Like he's rubbing his hands in a lot of scenes, which I didn't pick up on that at all. But I'm sure that's like a second or third watch kind of thing where you pick up on that.
Yeah, I need to go back and see, because I didn't notice that either.
Yeah, but yeah, that was dope. This director, Gary Sherman, he's got a couple of movies that have been on my list for a while that I still haven't gotten to. Poltergeist 3 is one of them that I keep wanting to see, which I hear is actually surprisingly good, but I hear that Poltergeist 2 is not. So I just I feel like I need to see Poltergeist 2 to get into Poltergeist 3.
Yeah, I haven't seen either of the sequels, so I don't know.
But I've heard Poltergeist 3 is actually pretty good. And then he did Vice Squad, which is one that it's been on my list for a while that I haven't gotten to.
Nice.
I think that was one that my brother recommended to me a while back.
Which is Poltergeist 2? Which is the one with the old scary guy? That's 1 or 2?
That's 2.
You guys haven't seen that one?
Mm-mm.
I haven't seen any of the Poltergeist sequels.
What?
Yeah.
I haven't that's the only one I've seen is the one with the old guy.
Oh, really?
You haven't seen the first one?
You haven't seen the original Poltergeist?
No.
No? Really? Oh, fuck.
And I think I've seen 3, because that one happens in an apartment or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's like I know I just remember the movie cover. It's just like this big fucking
I'm
high rise.
Backwards. I only see.
Yeah,
I've seen the second.
You gotta watch the first Poltergeist, dude.
Yeah, first Poltergeist is a banger, and it's PG, but it's more terrifying than most.
Oh yeah,
horror movies of its era, which is crazy.
Yeah, that movie fucked me up as a kid for sure.
Yeah.
That movie's
How
awesome.
have I not seen the first one? I think when I was younger, the second one I was just played on TV. So I was just oh, this looks creepy, and I just kept watching it. But
and it's got the same cast, I think, right? Like it's the family
as
back
the sequels,
for the second one. Yeah.
Well, the little girl died after that first movie, right? And then so I don't think she's in the sequels.
Did she pass away right after the first one?
Yeah, I think she passed away before the movie even came out, if I recall correctly.
Shit.
She had some there was a weird story. I don't remember all the details, but it was something wrong with her stomach or something, and then
well, no, she died in 1988, so 6 years after the movie came out.
Oh, okay, I'm way off then. But I don't know what the fuck.
Heather Rourke.
Good thing I host a horror movie podcast.
Heather O'Rourke. Yeah, she's in the sequel.
Really? Fuck! I'm really talking out of school here. I don't know what I'm talking. Thank you for. I mean, we should fact check everything I say all the time.
Yeah,
to that.
Were these movies always even good, Derek? What are you talking about? No, same family.
She had died right after. Okay.
I was also under that impression, but but then I remember seeing something about Poltergeist 2, and they're like, yeah, the whole Freeling family's back, and then this is happening, and I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, why didn't I watch that? Usually, if the sequel's able to get the whole cast back, you'd think it's got some potential.
Yeah.
We got to do the Poltergeist franchise on one of these.
That would be fun. How many of them are there? Is it just those 3?
And the remake.
Like a remake, yeah.
And I think there was a TV show. We don't have to do that.
And then you got Poultrygeist. Could watch that one.
Poultrygeist? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure that's got to be on Tubi. There's no way it's not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is on Tubi.
Is it really? Oh, fuck.
Night of the Chicken Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Watch that one in the Velocipaster.
That one.
That
Did
one's
you see
fun.
That? Yeah. Velocipaster's nuts.
Really?
It's so like overwhelmingly self-aware that I almost didn't like it the first time because I was like, okay, I get it. Like you're in on the joke.
You watched it more than once? Oh, nice.
No, I mean, sorry. At first, like the first act, I'm like, oh, okay, this movie is only so many. I can only take so many like get it like elbows to the ribs from the screenplay, but it grew on me because the pastor, like the Velociraptor costume or whatever, is fucking ridiculous, and just the whole. Someone came up with a really ridiculous idea for a movie. It was like, what can we scoot around budget wise and just like let the audience know that we fucking tried. I'm like, okay, I can appreciate that. It's a fun one. I've seen worse. There's like, oh man, Carousel. Have you ever seen that one?
No.
It's about
bad.
It's about a carousel unicorn that comes to life and starts just like murdering people for the devil or something. It's only like an hour long, and it was nice. I barely finished it. I was like, this movie feels like a chore, and it's only like 65 minutes, but that one's pretty bad. Velocipaster was at least like had some redeeming qualities.
I don't know if this movie belongs in the conversation of those. Maybe it does, but I liked it. It's Zombievers.
Oh
we might have talked it. Yeah, Zombievers is good.
I haven't seen that.
It was probably like 10 years ago when I saw it, and I just remembered it being like, oh, this is gonna be a piece of shit. Let's watch it. And it was like, oh, this is actually like a pretty good piece of shit. Like,
it's a fun piece of shit.
Yeah, I think it's Bill Burr is in that, right? If
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's funny.
So it was like
the next.
I
was gonna say is the next big thing that Bill Burr did after Breaking Bad. What were you saying, Dre?
That's a hell of a transition. No, I was looking it up. There's a Velocipaster 2 on Kickstarter that looks like it got funded.
Shit. Oh man,
really?
It's like the dinosaur priest from your favorite meme is back, and he's going to Italy.
Oh man,
the final 24 hours.
Let's do it.
All right, yeah, I gotta watch it.
Yeah, it looks like they got the budget for it, so
that's funny on fucking Kickstarter. That's awesome. That's great. Spider Labyrinth. Where are we at on this one? I dug it. I liked it a lot.
That was insane.
Yeah. That's a real fucking slow burn. A real slow burn.
Yeah. Is that ending? Oh shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was awesome.
I was confused on that one. Had me confused.
Yeah. But it's definitely so slow burn for sure. I know that the beginning is definitely a little dry and whatnot, and it is an 80s Italian horror movie where everyone's Foley footsteps walking around outside. Sounds like they're in a fucking auditorium or something. Yeah. So that's where you always know how. It's just your typical.
Those are my notes. Are like the dubbing is off, but the transfer is great. Like visually, it looked fantastic, but the audio on mine was a little off, and I'm like,
it's Italian horror at its best. Yeah, and it's also always like a bunch of Italians walking around pretending to be American in those movies. Yeah, I love that. Where do you come from? Dallas. Oh, what a fascinating city. I plan to go there very soon. The lady petting her cat. Yeah. But I know we've said it a lot on this podcast, and I don't know how many fucking repeat listeners we have. I just think it bears repeating, but I just love the charm that these Italian horrors have. Just the dubbing is so off. And I remember the first few that I've seen, it was just like, like it's hard to sit through. And now it's just like, yeah, this is awesome. Like, I just love how fucking off-putting it is. It's bizarre, but it does track. And I don't remember what episode it was that we did where we talked about this, but it was a while back. And because I was just so curious and like, what's going on with Italian movies? Because it goes back to even like the spaghetti westerns and shit. Like you watch some of those, and like a lot of the dubbing was very off too.
Yeah.
And it dates, if I remember correctly, when we were talking about it, and I had researched it a little bit, it dates back to Mussolini, where the Italian government would appoint someone from their fucking I guess Mussolini's cabinet to be on film sets and make sure there was no anti-government messaging being put in their movies.
Holy shit.
So it was a law where they could not use any audio captured on set. Everything had to be post-production audio. Wow. So everything was dubbed. So that's why even you go back to these spaghetti westerns where half the cast are actors from all over Europe, and then the other half the cast are American actors. And a lot of the people that were acting as either Americans or Mexicans in those movies weren't even speaking English on set. And to them, they're like, yeah, don't worry. Like, we'll dub you in English anyways. Just have like another actor. So you'd have fucking Clint Eastwood speaking English and then actors not speaking English back to him on set. And then in post, they have them speaking English. And a lot of the times their lines weren't even written. Like, it was just like, yeah, like, we don't know what you're going to say yet.
Just say some shit and we'll fix it later.
So just recite the alphabet to him again.
A lot of this, after my fucking 5-minute spiel as like an expert on this, please fact check what I'm saying. I think I got a lot of that right. I don't know how much of it, but I remember reading a lot of that a while back because I was very curious. I've seen a lot of these movies. I'm like, why are they always like this? Why do they sound like shit? And it was just, I remember also coming across that Italian audiences were very used to this at this point, like decades later, where it was no longer like a law, but it was just how they made movies. And for American audiences, it's very like, like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Again, I hope I've got at least 90% of that correct. I'm pretty sure I do.
Double check. What country was it again? No.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because a lot of that, I couldn't find a lot of credible sources. I'm like, I couldn't find good articles written on that. I found a few, but a lot of it would also come from Reddit posts, and these people like would elaborate on exactly what was going, like the history of that. So I got a lot of it from that. So maybe not 100% credible source, but I think
good enough.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, so Spider Labyrinth, a lot of that for sure.
A lot of that. And then I also have in my notes, because this was one, like, first 40 minutes are strictly business is what I've written down. Because I'm like, about a half an hour into this movie, I'm like, this is a horror movie, right? Like, this just looks like a lot of paperwork or whatever. Like somebody's traveling to do something else, and then there's more traveling, and what's going on. And so I Google it, and it's Spider Labyrinth, insane horror something. And it was like, even though the horror stuff doesn't kick in until about 45 minutes into the movie, after that, it's off to the races. And I'm reading that as it's like I'm hitting minute 43, 44, whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I look back at the screen, and I'm like, oh, all right. Yeah. It was nuts. I did predict that they were eggs, the weird little like black spider balls that were getting thrown around. And if you I'm glad we picked this while Justin's not here, because he would have not watched this movie. But stop motion spiders will always have my full and undivided attention, because that shit was so sick.
Yeah, it was
those awesome.
Yeah,
those are awesome.
Yeah, I mean, again, right? Like people figuring out how to make shit look cool back in the 80s, and they fucking nailed it.
When he was in the closet, it's like, it was like, oh man, that's fucking terrifying. I love it.
I saw.
My bad. I just definitely missed the part where they were eggs. I didn't catch that.
There's a scene, I think, after we've seen the balls pop up like 2 or 3 times. There's a part where one of them rolls towards somebody, and then you see it like split open, and a spider.
Yeah, and the spider comes out.
Grows out of it.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I must have missed that part, because I remember the first one when they're in the office and it just crashes through the window after you see the creepy ass little boy or whatever. But
yeah,
okay,
nuts.
Special effects done by Sergio Stivaletti, who also did the special effects for Cemetery Man. Have you guys seen that one?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
It's a dope one. I always try to find that shit, and that was one that popped out at me. That movie's fucking sick.
Nice.
Yeah. Another fucking awesome Italian horror. I think that one's 90s though. Early
yeah,
90s.
I think.
Yeah,
I want to say that one's like 90 or 91.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, this movie, this was a recommendation from my brother. I remember he, months back, he does these quarterly secret screenings, double features, where he doesn't announce what the movies are going to be. So people just buy tickets and they show up and they're going to watch a double feature and have no idea what they're going to watch. And this was one, I forget what he paired this one with. But he loved this movie. He gave this one 5 stars. This is my brother's fucking movie. Like he loved this movie. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was sick.
I just have In the Face, because I'm pretty sure that's one of the first kills. This woman just gets stabbed right in the face.
Yeah.
And then the library fight was so unexpected. Yes, in the face. But then when they're fighting in the library, I don't know if it was a stunt double, it was just like a good swap out or something, but one of them picks up the other one and like whips them around and slams them into a table and a wall.
Yeah.
And then they just get back up like, fucking up. It's like, that is an insane fight sequence for a movie like this. Like, you usually get 3 or 4 cuts in a fight scene like that. Like, you see these MCU fights now where every time they punch, they cut to the stunt and then it's something else. It's so choreographed. But no, this guy just got picked up and tossed. Yeah. And it was nuts. Yeah. And then the web spit, when that first happened, I was like, oh, that's disgusting.
That was nasty. It was so slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to find some more spider movies to do before Justin fucking hops back in.
Just do a whole.
Is Justin afraid of spiders?
Yeah,
Justin is deathly afraid of spiders.
Yeah, like a genuine case of arachnophobia.
Yeah,
it's funny because he slept in my basement last weekend. There's definitely a lot of spiders.
Did you tell him that, or is he finding out listening to this podcast right now?
He's just finding out right now. But no, I mean, I don't know if there's any more than your typical basement, but he might not be too familiar with basements living in Florida, so I don't know if he knows.
Fair.
Yeah.
Wait till you get the ones that just drop from the ceiling, and then like you wake up and you're like, "What the?" And it's a tiny little thing, but it's still like spooky because you catch it out of like the corner of your eye. And you're like, "What the fuck is that?" Yeah, we had that to do more.
I like this. I like this review on Letterboxd for Spider Labyrinth. It says, "Love how in Italian genre cinema, even the most arcane mystery is still rendered as a reason for gratuitous nudity." People that get stabbed in the face and flamboyant tinting effects.
Hell yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I see some people in the reviews. I see some people giving reviews similar to what the praise that Josh is giving here with the stop motion spiders. A lot of people loved the stop motion spiders. Yeah, it was sick.
That's how you get me.
I feel like these are 3 movies that I would like at some point to rewatch. I think they're all the rewatchability for me was there, and I feel like even after what I read about Dead and Buried, like there's tidbits that's going to be there that you could maybe pick up on in the second or third watch. That I'm sure I missed some shit in Spider Labyrinth that I'd like to uncover. And then Death by Temptation for me, probably my favorite of these 3. Even though I rated them all the same in Letterboxd.
I just put my ratings down too.
Yeah, I think
I hadn't rated them.
I think Death by Temptation is one that. Well, that one and Dead and Buried, I think, are the 2 that very a lot of fun with. Where like you're saying, Josh, with the Spider Labyrinth, there's definitely a good 40 minutes there where you're just doing paperwork.
Yeah.
But then when the fun starts.
But it is one that I would rewatch now.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the benefit of these. I used to have a friend who didn't understand rewatching movies. He was like, "Why do you buy movies?" And I was like, "Why the fuck wouldn't I buy movies?" And he's like, "If you've seen it once, why do you guys see it again?" And I'm like, "You sociopath. What are you talking about?" Like, there's so many reasons to rewatch a movie. But these in particular, because I watch them for the podcast, and I'm like, focused on them so that I can take these notes about what I noticed and what I saw, but it still feels like it's part work, and I'm having to do it for this. And then when I rewatch it, I can throw it on, and anticipating what's going to happen definitely gives you reasons to pay more attention to the beginning to see if you can like pick things up or link stuff. And yeah, all three of these movies I think gave me back ends that made me want to rewatch it and see what got us to that point. But I agree. I think Death by Temptation was probably the biggest surprise here. I knew I was going to love Dead and Buried, and I had somewhat of an idea of what part of Spider Labyrinth was going to be. That ending still fucking took me by surprise. But yeah, I think Dead and Buried was my favorite, with Death by Temptation very close behind. Like I loved both of those a lot.
Yeah, I think I would put Dead and Buried first. It just felt like a more complete movie to me, and it looked awesome. Death by Temptation surprised me too. Like I literally had no clue what that was about to be. I thought it was going to be like horrible. But
that's why you picked it.
This looks like dog shit. Here you go. You guys got to watch it with
me. But I was pleasantly surprised. Like the lighting, the cinematography, and that one probably was like the best out of the three for me. Just because I guess where they couldn't do like high budget things, like they made up for it with these different set pieces, and I love that. And Spider Labyrinth, I'm more inclined to watch that one again because I just feel like I missed little intricate things that I didn't pick up on. Dead and Buried is like that too, because I didn't notice the thing with the hand, and I'm like,
well, I'm sure most people didn't, right? Like because it doesn't get revealed until the end of the movie. And I think it's subtle. I think he's just subtly like picking at his fingers as like the movie goes on.
See, that brings up so many questions. I'm like, so he was dead the whole time too then, or or did he? So then what the fuck? It's like that movie's like that makes the movie awesome to me because I'm like, now I have to watch it with a new.
Dude, you like it better than The Sixth Sense, dude? same twist,
right? But there's definitely like a lot in these movies that I wasn't expecting, so that's a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, it was dope. No, I definitely want to do more episodes like this because I think it's just going to be a way of how we could fucking uncover a lot of gems. And like Josh, I know your watch list. Like I know you have a big ass watch list, and
it's
I think I have more than 200 on my Letterboxd list because I just keep throwing shit on there when I uncover something. Dre, I don't know if I remember a while back you had a watch list that you were keeping on like a spreadsheet or something. Am I remembering that correctly?
I did not have a spreadsheet, but I do have some on Letterboxd. Like I'll go through these periods. Like I did Noir November, but I have a list of movies in my head that I haven't finished watching. Or that I haven't watched yet.
I think it's a way. I think it's it could make for some compelling, not just compelling episodes, but just finding movies like this that because when we're trying to, I don't know, piece these themes together, sometimes I don't know, it's not going to allow us to go through our fucking watch list, man.
No, definitely not. My watch list, my Letterboxd watch list is 191.
Jeez.
And then I know just like even my Tubi watch list, because I'll get a push notification that's like your 217 movies on your Tubi watch list are waiting to be watched, and I'm like, I can't do that right now, Tubi. Are you? That's what a weird challenge to give me. But I think my Tubi one's probably half movies I've seen because it's just if I notice a movie I love that I want to talk about on TikTok, then I'm like, let me add it to this watch list so I can go back to it later. But my watch list on Letterboxd is just stuff I've never seen, and it's almost 200 movies deep.
Yeah, mine's at 243.
Christ.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, so a lot of it comes from, it'll be like recommendations from my brother, or I see shit that he watches, and like, oh, I'll add that. And there's a few people that I've started to follow, and like same thing, like I'll see them log something and give it a high rating, like, okay, I'll add that. And then I love browsing lists on Letterboxd. And a lot of times I'll uncover shit there that was like, oh, fuck. Like I'll start throwing shit on my list. But there's no way I'm going to get through this whole list. It's just like, I like being able to go to that list and select the filters. And then you could select the streaming services that you have. So it's like, okay, out of these 243, like how many of them are playing right now on, whatever, the handful of streamers that I have. And then, so that's always helpful. Then I'll just pick one. That's how, Dre, that was one of the movies that we watched together last time you were here.
The Wes Anderson look. I can't remember. I forget the name. Was it the Wes Anderson looking one?
The Wes Anderson looking movie from the 50s. And I think it's from the Czech Republic, right?
Yeah.
I think it was
like the Flying Death Machine. I forgot what it was called.
I'm going to find it. It was fucking, dude, it was Banana Lands. It was just fucking, it was nuts. It was such a crazy. When was it that you were here? Do you remember?
It was March. Because we were filming. Yeah, it had to be March before I went to Atlanta.
Okay. So March, I'm looking. Oh, that's when we did all our Van Damme movies.
Yeah.
No, wasn't March.
Or end of February?
Or did I not log it? Because I'm not seeing it.
Logged it.
Oh, no, it was the end of February. Yeah, February 23rd. The Fabulous World of Jules Verne, 1958. Yeah.
Where did I get the Flying Death Machine from?
Well, that's what it is. It's kind of what it was is in the movie. But the most insane set builds that I'd ever seen. Like I remember Dre, like the whole movie, all we kept saying was like, "Oh my god!" Like the detail, the fucking just.
What year was it made?
1958.
So and it's
Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, because they look like the opening scene is like the train scene, and like how it's like, how the fuck did they do that?
And again, like I just came across that I think on like a list somewhere on Letterboxd. I'm like this, and I was just reading the reviews. Everybody in the reviews were just saying like how fucking cool it was.
Yeah, dude. Like, I went back and looked, and it was like they had like drawn on the film for some of the stuff for the water effects and some of like the birds and shit like that. They overlapped.
Crazy shit.
Like that's nuts for 1950. That's nuts now, but for 1958, that's like
And I remember Dre because we were looking at my watch list, and we came across this movie, and then there was a review that we read. We were like, "Yeah, let's watch that one." Do you remember the review?
I don't remember the review, but I remember us doing it.
It's a long review, but I'll just read the first sentence of it because it's what sold us. This guy, Christian, on Letterboxd gave it 5 stars. He said, "While you're at home masturbating to lactating lesbians, Japanese newscasters, or whatever other weird shit you're into, I guarantee Wes Anderson is getting off to this." And we were like, "All right, fuck it. Yeah, let's watch it."
That's insane.
As soon as you said it, I'm like, yeah, that was that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't not watch a movie after a review like that.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of having a watch list like that on Letterboxd.
What's this movie again? I'm adding it to my watch list.
Yeah, it's streaming on the Criterion app right now, and it's called The Fabulous World of Jules Verne. And just know, like, it's the whole time we were just in complete awe of just the set, like what they were fucking doing. Just like it's a
silent film too.
Nice.
Wasn't it?
Oh my god!
It was a silent film.
Was it?
Because I don't remember because I don't remember any like dialogue because it was you just watching this thing because a lot of the scenes are just like you're in amazement of what they were doing.
It's like I couldn't fucking tell you what was said in that movie. I just know it looked really cool.
It was a silent film for sure.
It just looked really cool. Yeah. I'm going to be honest. I don't remember it being a silent film. I thought they were speaking Czech for sure.
Time for a rewatch.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were speaking Czech, but nonetheless, were we high when we were watching that? I think we might have been. But no, it's cool. But again, just the idea of doing episodes based off of shit like that, like just like what's on your list and throw some random shit at there. Cause we did an episode a while back that there was I think it's how we got to what's it called? I have the fucking the Night of the Hunter. That's how I came across that. Where I was like, I just kept seeing that everywhere on Letterboxd. I'm like, I don't know.
So awesome.
I was like, I don't know this movie. I'd like to check it out. And I just immediately was like, oh, this is one of my favorites now.
Yeah, I think you just said I've got some movies on my watch list that I really want to get out of the way. Can we do these for one episode?
Birthday. And I said, hey, let's do.
Yeah, for my birthday, can I pick some movies? And I was like,
okay. Yeah. There was another one that I wanted to throw in there, but I know we didn't end up talking about it. But I watched it that same time, and it's fucking awesome. It's called Seconds.
I've heard about that one. Yeah,
that movie's really fucking cool. Starring the Chevy Chase's dad from Christmas Vacation, just 20 years prior.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, Seconds I highly recommend. That's one we should do at some point.
Nice.
How come I can't? Josh, what's your name on Letterboxd?
It should just be my full name, Josh B, as in Bravo, Levesque.
Fucking French Canadian. That's not French Canadian.
How come I can't find anybody? Yeah, because I saw you review something that came out recently, like The Ugly Stepdaughter.
Yeah.
Sister. Yeah. I saw that. I'm like, I want to check that one out. It looks awesome.
That movie fucking whips. It's so gross.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
It's so it's a retelling of Cinderella through from the perspective of the one of the ugly stepsisters, and it's more inspired by the Grimm fairy tale version, which is in that one the stepsisters cut their toes off to fit into the glass slipper, and it's way more brutal. And so this one is the two people get married. Cinderella is the daughter of this guy. Her dad passes away right after getting married, so it's Cinderella and her stepmom, and then the stepmom's two daughters. But the two stepsisters aren't bad people, but one of them is just not that not conventionally attractive, and so the mom's like, I'm gonna have to marry you off since I lost my rich husband. And meanwhile, all this shit's happening with Cinderella in the background, like the normal Cinderella story, but then the ugly stepsister is getting work done and trying to perfect herself so that she can seduce the prince. And so it's this brutal body horror where they show her going through different changes to try to make herself more attractive and more appealing to the prince. And it's so fucking gross. And some of the practical effects they use are so nuts.
Really?
That is not what I got from the trailer at all. I knew it was different, but I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah, and it's
what's it? Was it streaming somewhere?
Yeah, it's on Shudder now, and it's Norwegian. So it's got subtitles. So you got to pay attention to it. But don't eat.
So you got to pay attention to it.
Don't eat.
Don't eat during or right before, maybe, if you have a weak stomach. I love them. Whenever I'm watching a movie with subtitles, I'm like, okay, this is what I have to be ready for to focus on, because I can't look away.
Yeah, sure.
Put away laundry, or I can't go load the dishwasher while it's running in the background, because then you miss an entire plot point because you don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I sat down and paid attention to this one.
Commands your attention a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Yeah, the Golden Glove is like that for me. I think I suggested that before.
That's right. Yeah.
Did.
Initially, that movie is, and I think I've seen a lot of people say that in the reviews. That's the first movie I've ever watched where I was like, I could smell this shit. It looks like it just smells awful.
It's a German movie.
It's called The Golden Glove.
The Golden Glove is based off of a real serial killer from the 70s.
Oh shit! Okay.
I don't know what it was about the 70s and serial killers, but yeah, this dude.
Add that. My watch list is getting longer as we talk about watch lists right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's kind of brutal, and because it had the element that it was real, it kind of made it even ugh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it looks like it's streaming on Tubi right now.
Mr. Honka is his name.
Yeah.
Honka.
Cool, man. Well, yeah, we got to do more of these Pickens.
Are we wanting to do Letterboxd or Rotten Tomato scores for Dead and Buried and
oh shit,
Spider Labyrinth and shit?
Yeah,
so we usually cap it off with, right?
We have to. All right, let me pull them up.
I don't think any of them are going to be very high because I don't think any of them were well received when they first came out.
Right,
but I could be wrong.
Are we looking on all three or just Rotten Tomatoes and Letterboxd?
I always pull up the Rotten Tomatoes. I do like mentioning Letterboxd just because to me that's all right. So the reason why I like pulling up Rotten Tomatoes is because I love pointing out just how wrong they are. Like when we love a movie, when we love a movie and then they shit on it, like it just makes me like the movie more. And then Letterboxd to me is always so much more of a reliable source. Not that like it's always not like I agree with the ratings all the time, but more reliable, I think. Death by Temptation.
I think I do trust Letterboxd, that people's taste on there more because it's specialized in what it is.
Yeah, it's a niche app, right? Like it's all right, so Dead and Buried, you've got a 71% tomato meter and a 59% audience score. Which is interesting that the audience gave it that low of a score. Spider Labyrinth has no ratings on Rotten Tomatoes, and if it does, I can't find it. And then Death by Temptation, 75% tomato meter and a 42% audience score.
What's wrong with those people?
Yeah, it's only around 1,000 people that rated it on there. Where Dead and Buried, you've got over 5,000 people that rated it.
Well, these three were kind of like not rare, but I know the Spider Labyrinth, like they had to, like it was available like for a while, but it was like a shitty dub.
Yeah.
So it was hard to see, and then Death by Temptation was just like.
Yeah, and I think Spider Labyrinth is one of those movies. I know I did come across it. It was basically a lost film. Like it wasn't. It hadn't seen the light of day for quite some time, and then I'm pretty sure it was Severn Films. That did a 4K release or some kind of DVD release.
It got a 6.3 on IMDb.
Spider Labyrinth?
Yep.
Yeah.
Spider Labyrinth is the lowest rated on Letterboxd. It has a 3.3.
Yeah.
Out of, let me see, I forgot to look at how many reviews. How do you see how many ratings there
are? If you scroll down below, it'll tell you how many members have watched it, how many reviews there are. So watched it is what you'd want to look at.
So yeah, 3,500.
Yeah, so that's a low one.
So only 3,500 and it's at a 3.3, whereas Dead and Buried is at a 3.4, so not much better, but that one has 33,000.
Yeah.
So 10 times as many people logged it. And then
Death by Temptation.
Death by Temptation has a 3.7, or no, 3.2. That one's the lowest. 3.2. Yeah. I was looking somewhere else. And that one only has 12,000.
Yeah. So Spider Labyrinth is the biggest sleeper there.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the less people know about it, the way cooler it is, man. That's just how it works.
Yeah. So we shouldn't post this podcast then. We don't want people to find out this movie.
Yeah. Solid. Well, yeah, I'm gonna my vote is we do more episodes like this, and then just I mean, it'll be hard if it's fucking, even especially if it's gonna be 5 of us doing it at some point. That'd be difficult to do. But
I gotta join in on this a little bit more.
Yeah.
Done when I'm always. It's weird because I literally have watched hours and hours of you guys, and it's like it's almost surreal, like sitting here, like being part of the conversation because I still feel like I'm always a part of the conversation, but.
That's funny.
That's wild. Yeah, I don't know how you do it. I've had to watch back interview footage to edit clips, and I'm like, this is exhausting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I guess because I'm not in it, so I'm not looking at it the same. So I get to just kind of watch it and enjoy it. So I guess now that this one probably is gonna be like, oh fuck, this sucks. Because I gotta look at me and be like, ah, shit, man, I look weird and
yeah. I was gonna tell you that you look super weird, man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Cool. Alrighty.
Sweet.
That's it.
Tapping it. Yeah.